Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. I got an echo. Vader Games in the building. You know what it is. We're back. We're back with another episode. This is 115. One question, 15 minutes. I'm doing a little something different. I had to pick my pocket. My pocket of time today happens to be my time, 12:15. So I think I can get half an hour, 45 minutes in. So thank you all so very much for being a part of the show. Regular time is probably going to be around this, maybe a little earlier. So if you can support it, support it. One question, 50 minutes. This is what we do. Everybody in the chat, thank you so very much for dropping a comment. Please also take the time. Take the time and drop a comment, drop a like, share it if you need to. If you got people that are like, listen, you need some balanced football takes in your life, send this channel their way. Yes, I know that's not quite a humble thing to say, but if you want a little, maybe change in conversation, something different, send it over to your peeps. What I like to do each and every time for the beginning of the show, I got to do first things first. My peoples come first. My people, those that are here, those that are no longer here, thought of and always remembered. And I got to show love. I got to show love to the person that took time. They hit that like button. They dropped a comment. They're a part of the show because I'm going to shout them out. Today, I got Dre in the building. Dre P in the building. Good looking out. My guy, he goes, hey, Vader. Yes, Haaland has been pulling the team along. That's leadership. Pundits want to call it over-reliance, which I think is a bit of a lazy narrative. Nah, you're right on point. You're right on point, Dre. Lazy, lazy, lazy. Funny enough, we're seeing laziness with these official pundits, football pundits, but we're seeing some laziness amongst some of the content creators as well. But you called it right out. To say over-reliance is mad. He's a wild goal scorer, and he needs to get his props. Let me shout out Trevor in the building. You know what it is. He goes, big up, Vader. I got Sam in the building. Big up. The girl RK, you know what it is. She goes, yes, he needs to keep the mentality because some of the teammates need it. We're going to speak on that. But this interview was so fitting. My man, Staffy TV. If you haven't, go and subscribe, support my guy. Another North American, happens to be the Ops, right? He's over in Old Trafford supporting that club. But shout out to Staffy. Good looking out, my guy. Miami Snoopy in the building. Salute. My dude, good looking out. Abdallah, what you saying? He goes, what up, Vader? Hope you're well. Hope the family is well. Listen, family's good. My family that's back in the Caribbean, they're all good as well. Great reports coming back that everyone's okay. Damage at a very minimum, but most importantly, everyone is good. RSM, my dude, much respect. Thank you so very much. He's another op, American Waffle op. My blue brother, though. He should be more of my blue brother, but he's still my blue brother over at Chelsea doing his thing. Trevor also wants to say, they glaze Salah for 75% of the goals. Listen, we got a lot of season left to go. Whether this percentage remains the same, if it does, it is a madness. Like, imagine Haaland continues to score 10, he scored 13 goals so far, 13 goals in 10 games. A madness if he keeps this up, but he's doing his thing. Now, this show is going to be a little bit different. I hope you got some time. Hear a little bit from me. Let me know in the chat whether you heard this interview from Haaland or not. If you did, cool. You might. Obviously, you're going to hear it for a second time, but I'm going to be pausing at moments for when something jumps out at me. All right. I've only seen some quotes from him. I'm actually going to play it. Maybe not in its entirety, depending on time. But I do want to play this interview. I do want to address a few things. And I want to point out some things that jump out at me. Because I really find from the quotes that I read, his mentality contradicts a lot of the things that people want to tell us, right? They tell us you need to be arrogant. You need to be all for self. You need to be selfish, right? There's something to be said on why it's actually wrong. This whole cliche about good guys finish last, it's actually pretty wrong. It's wrong. And I'm not going to put myself into this conversation, but I'm going to tell you, them to say good guys finish last, nah, absolutely not true. Now, Sam also wants to say, false narratives in the media when other teams lose their important players, they'll also suffer. So it's a redundant topic, this Haaland FC. It is. Holland FC it's nice. It catches the attention, right? It'll put City fans on the fence, being like, no, we're not Holland FC, right? They want to do KDB FC. They want to do Rodri FC. It's very much lazy. The narrative is terrible. And I'm going to start your comments. We're going to get to it. But it's important to hear what this man has to say. And I got no problems with you guys. Again, amazing community. If you guys are talking amongst yourselves, and sometimes it's not necessarily a comment to be put on screen, it's all good. I like the back and forth. Let's get into this. Now, a few things. Price for admission, comment, or like. If you do both, bonus. All right. Also, if you happen to be tuning into this show and it's already run, it's not live, again, hit the comments afterwards. I do go back, I check it out, I listen, I respond, or I read and I respond, and it's always appreciated. So let me do this nice and clean. I'm not going to start the clock on this one. I will start the clock when I start speaking. I do want to test things out. So everyone in the chat, I'm going to play about the first 30 seconds. Please let me know whether you hear this or not. All right, here we go.
Hi, Erling. Hi.
Hello.
You've been in amazing form so far this season, scoring loads and loads of goals, 30 in the Premier League. Can you beat your record, you think, this season overall? Is that a realistic ambition for you to aim for?
So let me know. Let me know if you heard that. The journalist asked how Haaland's doing, and he asked him about the record. He asked him, do you think that you are in a position to break your record, is what he asked him. Everybody in the chat, just take a second. Just hit me with a Y. If it's a yes, hit me with an N. If it's a no, whether you heard what I just played on screen. All right, because I'm doing something different. I didn't want to share the screen. I didn't want to share screen and then change things up. Bless. Good looking out. Cisco, much appreciated. We're good. Now, let me get comfortable. All right, let me adjust my chair here. Let me lean back a little bit. Hopefully this microphone's not too close. You know, we got to get nice and chill. All right, let's enjoy this bad boy. Let's go. Ads are probably going to pop up, so if they do pop up, then I'm also going to take a second to pause it, take it off screen, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, let's get into it. So he was just asked about his record.
I need to ask you which record then. Nothing, not to sound arrogant, but which one?
Your treble season.
Yo, that's a bad one. Which record? This guy is crazy though. Before I continue on, everybody in the chat, good looking out. Please hit that like button, subscribe. This is what's wild, right? Let's all be real. He is the most proficient goal scorer we've seen. I'm not exaggerating. Everybody in the chat, young or old, I don't care whether it's your grandfather, grandmother, your uncle, your dad, whatever. This is the most efficient goal scorer we've seen. There's no question about it. And he does have a ridiculous amount of records, like quickest to this, quickest to that. You know what I mean? Even with regards to the Champions League, which is phenomenal. It's one of those things where we pray it continues, but he's got just as many games played in the Champions League as he does goals, right? It's absolutely amazing. Fox in the building. I see you. Good looking out. Miami, you let me know that the sound was good. Good looking out. Trevor as well. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into it. Girl RK said she saw the video, so some of this you already caught. Actually, let me add a like to this.
Let's go. Yeah, goals in the season, you mean? Yeah. How many did I have in total?
36 in the Premier League and about 40 odd altogether. Was it 48?
Yeah, 36 in Premier League.
It was a lot.
Do you ask about Premier League or?
Well, yeah, just Premier League and just overall.
Yeah, I had 57 in total with the national team, so I'm on a good way. But again, I don't think of this.
So what do you think of then? How do
you see? This is great. This is great. Now, I'm going to do this as well. I don't know if you've also caught some of the comments, because again, over here, this is 115, right? One question, 50 minutes. But you guys also know I got another show, right? You guys know I got another show, and let me just tag it over real quick, all right? You guys also know I got this show. I got this show over here. It's Intelligent Agendas. So because of the intelligent agendas that I got to do with my peeps, panels, other City fans, I've been paying attention to Vincent Kompany. And Vincent Kompany brought up something very interesting in his recent post-game press conference when, obviously, I think he's on a 15-game win streak, 16-game win streak, something like that. And he talks about how he doesn't let he's never let him. It's something that he's practiced himself, but also with regards to a message to the team, he tells the team that you don't believe in the hype. You don't get caught up in the hype, whether the hype is telling you that you're the best thing or the hype is telling you that you're horrible, that you're trash, right? You don't. It's somewhere in the middle, and he says he doesn't get caught up in it, and I think it's really good.
Vader games.
I think it's really good, even when we look at what Haaland's saying about, yes, he's aware of these records, but it's not something that he thinks about in terms of pursuing them, right? I think that's absolutely phenomenal.
Is it just game to game? Is that how you motivate yourself?
Yeah, definitely. Now, 2 days ago, we had a game, and that's history now. We need to focus on tomorrow, and that's how my brain works, and that's how I need to think, because I cannot think too much of what happened. I need to think.
Build a website you.
Look at that. I knew it. Of course, they come up with, let me go. I got to do this. I got to do that. And I've got to do this. Bear with me.
Presence.
All right, let's bring it back. He says,
And just one more. Do you feel you're getting better as a player? And just one more.
Much of what happened, I need to think in the presence.
And just one more. Do you feel you're getting better as a player?
before the journalist moves on to that question, we can't miss the part that he says, I got to think about the present, right? I think we often forget that too. And when I say we, I'm talking about us as fans. Like sometimes we want to project too much. We don't want to just deal with the present. And I've seen this. It gets questioned about, manager, players in terms of, okay, what you just saw, this means that what you just saw, this is what they're going to do for the remainder, right? They're not going to improve. They're not going to learn from previous mistakes. He says he deals with what just happened in the present, and then afterwards it's on to the next. It's thinking forward, right? In the moment, not going beyond and all these grand records. He thinks about the next game. Being in the present is huge. And I want to point out this comment. It's absolutely great that came up from Miami. Miami reminds us, he goes, his goal scoring ratio is virtually 1-to-1. Everywhere he's been. It's absolutely insane. You're right, Miami. He's that sick. And at the end of the interview, sorry if I was loud in the microphone, but at the end of this interview, I also want to point out, or a press conference, I want to point out everything that he says, and then I want to take a second and then relate that back to what other players might be thinking when they see an interview like this, right? He's obviously representing himself, but he's a Manchester City player. And then when you think of what might be influencing other players to either decide to or not to come to Manchester City, something to point out. Cisco, best players in any sport have goldfish memories. Absolutely. And you gotta deal with it. You did your best, move on to the next. It's something that I'm actually trying to teach my minions with regards to no one is thinking about what just happened like that. Everyone may have a laugh, maybe have a moment, but then they're moving on. The labeling isn't a thing. All right, let's continue.
As a striker, a footballer?
Yeah, definitely. I'm developing good, and I'm in a good place. I'm taken good care of. So yeah, I'm developing good.
I like that. He's taken good care of. Haaland could have went anywhere, guys and girls. Haaland could have went anywhere. We see on Twitter X all these reports about Real Madrid revisiting to go after Haaland. We're seeing Barcelona fans all wanting to be like, hey, consider us, right? He could have gone anywhere. He chose City, and he also made a point to mention he's taken care of here. He's feeling good here. That's important.
Hi, Erling. Nice goal celebration at the weekend with the robots. What was the inspiration for that?
Inspiration. I think everyone know why I did this. If you check my comment section on any photo or video, I think you kind of get to know why I did it.
Listen now. You know how many tried to say that players don't care about what journalists are saying and things like that. To a certain degree, that's true, right? Like I said earlier, certain things are taken with a grain of salt. We also have to say that none of these players can avoid social media. There isn't. Whether it's them on it scrolling like that, probably not. But they'll take a chance. They'll be added with something. They'll see something trending. Curiosity. They've grown up with these devices. They're going to do it. Actually, Pep talked about how this generation, more than any, obviously are more accustomed to being on social media, have their own profiles and all that kind of stuff. But Haaland baited himself out, exposed himself right now in a way, because the fact that he mentioned all the comments on things that are posted, he sees what we're doing. He sees what each of us are doing, and we can all choose to have an impact in a positive way or in a negative way, right? For those of you that want to slander your own players, go ahead, do so. That's cool. It's your choice. If you think you slandering them is going to make them play better, cool. I don't know when negativity has been a positive, has had a positive impact on improvement with regards to performance or mentality. To each his own. Maybe some of you react better with negativity, but there is positivity, and then there's also neutral, candid. So how you choose to criticize someone, how you choose to maybe empower someone to improve, it's all your choice. But long-winded way to say, Haaland and these players see it. And he doing the robot, because obviously there's mention of him being a cyborg, there's mention of him being unreal, being a machine. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I think it's great. My man Adam in the building, good looking out. My dude in the building. Dre P has. Oh, Dre P. He goes. People look at City's money, which is a factor, yes, but let's be real. The Prem Europe is full of money. Facts. There are other factors at play, and a lot of City players feel really welcome at the club. Trust me, Dre P. You're absolutely right. Money's a factor everywhere, right? You have to be able to at least match with what many are doing. But how you choose to spend that money, where you choose to invest, and even what you prioritize, right? There's certain atmospheres, their work cultures. We recognize with regards to this club that there's such a great emphasis in terms of what they do. And many players, I'm not going to direct quote anyone today, but many players have said, there's nothing better after you leave City. All right. You guys can tell me in the chat who said it, whether it was Gundogan or Mahrez, but it's been said, you leave City, there's nothing better. And I think that quotes come from many places. Aguero's another one. But yeah, let's get into it.
So we'll be seeing it again?
Huh?
We'll be seeing it again?
I never plan any celebrations. I do it after I score, because I don't think you should plan anything like that. So we'll see.
Hi, Erling. You've scored quite a few headers already this season, and you've won a lot of headers kind of all over the pitch. Is that an area of the game that you've worked on over the summer and this season?
Yeah, I've been practicing my headers ever since.
Listen, shout out to Beanie Man Sports. It's not spelled like Beanie Man, which I'm accustomed to, Caribbean background, but Beanie Man Sports with regards to the press conference, post conference, and all the amazing work over there. Haaland addressing the header comment. I love the answer, and I love it because let me speak to City fans. Let me speak to rivals. Haaland has now been at the club. He gave us a treble, gave us a four-peat. Last season, disappointing. He was the first to say it. Many players have been the first to say it. This is his fourth season. If anybody wants to say, oh, we saw what he did in when he first joined us, that's the player that he's going to continue to be. No. If players have their limitations, and I'm going to say this with regards to Haaland, I'm going to say this with regards to Rico Lewis, I'm going to say this even with regards to Kostanov. If what you see them initially, first impressions, is what you're going to choose to label them as the player that they're going to continue to be, that's your choice. All right. Everyone improves. Everyone gets better. For him to work on a limitation, which was heading, and it's not even so much a limitation, but it was surprising on how dominant he is physically, skills, and his heading accuracy and ability did require some work at it. And the fact that he's talking about it and he's addressing it is huge. I see you in the building. Trevor wants to say City breeds a special mentality. You're absolutely right. Also, with regards to Cisco saying, yeah, the culture within the club seems outstanding. It's I know it can be cliche, but it's got a true family vibe. It's got we support each other within, right? Even with if you're a member of City Plus, if you see anything behind the scenes, yeah, the culture is absolutely great. Trevor, listen, trust me. Sima, trust me. Listen, let me continue this. Jokes.
It started in Molde in 2017 with Ole Gunnar and Mark Dempsey. That's when I started practicing my headers, and I don't think I can get. I think you can always perform, or you can always get better in things, and with headers, I think you can get better. You can never get good enough. I think you can always get better and better. So there's something I try to practice still, and yeah, you can see it. I'm getting better and better, and there's still a long way to go.
You also seem to have kind of been in your own penalty area a lot this season, heading balls away. Do you kind of enjoy being part of defence?
So him mentioning that Haaland's been in our own 18-yard box more often this season. That's actually something I noticed last year. It's something that I know. I mean, we had a poor run. We were leaking goals. We weren't as quality defensively as we needed to be. But this journalist bringing up the point that he's noticed Haaland being in the defensive end more this season. I actually saw it a lot last year, and I'm curious to what he has to say.
Set pieces as well.
Yeah, it's not the nicest thing, but I'm not complaining. I prefer to be in the other box, but anything to help the team.
Now, I gotta break this down. Now, yes, a striker, goal scoring mentality, right? Wants to put goals in the back of the net. Obviously, he would rather be closer to the opposing goal than he would be to his own goal. Makes complete sense. The man's 6'5", right? We just talked about earlier, he's been working on his headers. His stature, his ability to head the ball, and to help with regards to some corners, some set pieces, is phenomenal, right? I think a great example of that was when we had to stay defensive and stay locked in with regards to the Arsenal game early in the season. I think 2 direct crosses into the box, he was the one heading it out. But this is why he also gets so much credit with regards to this mentality that we got to talk about, winning mentality, is because he's quote unquote kind of penalized from an offensive standpoint not to be closer to the opposing goal on corners with regards to a counter. I don't think there's any better weapon than Erling Haaland from a counter standpoint, because you can just get the ball over top. He's got the pace, he's got the strength, he's got the height. There's so many advantages that he could have in a counter attacking opportunity, and because of that, maybe it has the defense have second thoughts on who they put on the attacking end, right? Do they decide to not maybe put their best defender in a goal scoring opportunity because on a quick counter they're going to be out of position and Haaland can run downhill on them? Mo Salah has shorter in stature, not quite as physical. He's probably hugging that halfway line ready, right? I've seen it many times in terms of a quick counter, ball over the top, Salah's running down him. Imagine if Haaland was able to do it. But again, winning mentality was better for the team. He's closer to our end. He's helping with those clearances, right? So that's something that can't be dismissed. And is he penalized for it from an offensive standpoint? Yeah, he's penalized because his advantage isn't emphasized for the attack. But again, the complete player that he is, and this doesn't get recognized, this doesn't get talked about, right? Our best attacking player is helping defensively with regards to set pieces, again, because of his height, because of his strength. Dre P in the building, he goes, Vader, I think the style of play has changed. City giving up more possession means they have to defend more. So Haaland and others have to help out more on their own box. Absolutely. And I think this is, but Haaland getting back into his own box really happens not in open play, not in natural play. I think it happens with set pieces. I think it happens with corners. where he's obviously going to be called. There's a break and play. He's going to be called into the box and do the defending. Trevor agrees. Good looking out with Dre P. And Cisco goes, yeah, this dude wants to smack out everybody, everybody's mouth. He is just a goal scorer. Again, Jordan mindset, Kobe mindset. And again, he wants to win. And if the best reason or the best way for City to win is for him to help out with regards to defending in the box, he's for it.
Joe?
Hi, Erling. Your manager's just been in talking about how sort of humble you are. Perhaps he wasn't expecting you to be quite so humble when you came through, because the goal scorers he's worked with have just been sort of bothered about scoring goals for themselves. Is that sort of your generosity?
Okay, sorry, I gotta pause it. It might see out of nowhere, but I had to pause it. I just did a show last night. All right, I did a show with Sarcasm City TV. Shout out to my man Flawless, and we were going back and forth. And I'm gonna do a future show. I'm gonna add the topic over to the side. But we just had a show, and I had to, because he brought up the point of Pep type players, right? And I got all aggravated because I'm tired of that narrative, right? Because I think the Pep type player is a myth. I think it's a myth that's gone on way too long. If you're going to say Pep type player because of what Pep did his first managerial job in Barcelona, come on, managers evolve. If you're going to talk about Pep style player because of what he had at Bayern, again, he's now come over to Manchester City. And I say this, Sterling wasn't a Pep type player, right? He wasn't. And when we look at what Pep did with regards to Joe Hart, right? Joe Hart wasn't his player. He had Eddie. But would we say that Donnarumma is Eddie? I think Donnarumma is closer to Joe Hart than he is to Eddie. Now, he's not as poor with regards to his feet, but he's more on the Joe Hart side than he is on the Eddie side. This Pep style player, throw this out. Throw that myth. That myth needs to die, because they told me Haaland wasn't a Pep type player. They told me that, right? So the fact that Haaland has been so good, and we have to admit, yes, Haaland has been a goal scorer, but we also see on what Pep's done with regards to Haaland and his improvements. Goes hand in hand. Haaland's got the mentality. Pep's also got the manager to get the best out of him. This Pep type player, we need to stop it. We need to stop it. Pep wants now. The one thing that I will say though is if you look at a player and then you're able to gauge, you're able to hear how they talk about the game, how they think about team sports, how they think about being a member of the team. If you go mentality now, I will agree. I will agree with you. There are Pep type players mentality, because now from a striker standpoint, name me a more skillful, large in stature striker than Zlatan, right? But he's not a Pep type player because mentality wise it wasn't going to work, right? So if you're going to have the conversation about Pep type player, Pep wants the mentality. Pep wants the versatility. This is where we have to go. Not the physicality or a skill set. It's more than that. That's when we get to lazy narratives. But let's and this whole humble thing. This is why I think it's interesting. Pep surprised with how humble Haaland was is because normally goal scorers like this are about me. On another show, I'll take shots at rivals and the type of players that they have and the selfishness that we've seen over the years. But Haaland in particular, Pep being surprised by how humble he is, I think it says a lot. Dre P goes, I suspect again, Vader, because they want to downplay Pep. Yeah, Pep is ever adjusting, and he does create changes. He creates different systems. Pep's always tinkering, right? Pep's always trying to do something different. So it's a combination of player improvement and Pep getting the best. This Pep type player myth, I'm doing my best to kill it. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm doing my best to kill it.
Towards your teammates, is that something you've always had within you? Have you worked on it?
No, for me it's completely normal.
Shout out to mom and dad.
I'm a Norwegian guy, and for me it's I should not think I am something just because I'm scoring goals. As simple as that. I'm just Erling, and this is something that will never change. So, yeah.
I like that.
There's been quite a lot of talk about the overall Premier League goal scoring record in the last few weeks. Alan Shearer, who's obviously got the record, has been talking about it.
Yo, look at that
he's
smile.
Projecting you to beat him if you stay at City.
Look at the smile.
How much thought do those sort of records? How often?
Did you see the smile, and did you see him also do those body language? He's touching his face, like little uncomfortable, wanted to cover that up a little bit. Listen, okay, I gotta hear this.
Do you think about those things, or is it something you just kind of have to ignore?
Yeah, I have to ignore them. I know this record. I don't really know any records, but this one I know one. That's his Premier League record. Yeah, but again, there's not something I can't think about records I can break, and that's the last thing I think of. I try to help the team win football games. That's my job, and that's my main focus. I know it's boring. I know you want me to say the completely opposite, but it's not how it is.
Erling, I sat down with Pep a few weeks back at the start of the season, and he said from the first moment you walked through the door in pre-season this year, he noticed there was something different.
Listen, Trevor, that record, he doesn't think about it in terms of like, oh, it's his everyday on his mind, but he knows he puts in that work. He knows he becomes a better player. He knows with regards to just being the goal scorer for his teammates, that record's going to make itself available. Trust me, this guy. And I think it's, honestly, I think it's just a longevity thing. Now, I got to say Trevor, not Trevor, because of how you spelt your name, right? Caribbean vibes there, Trevor. So I guess I see what you did there.
About you, did you come in with a different attitude or something? What was your feeling going into the season? What was it that you might have seen that was different?
I don't know. I think it's more the feeling. I felt really good, even in the pre-season, even though the pre-season was, I think it was 2 weeks or something. So it wasn't the longest pre-season, but I felt really good. I felt energized. And yeah, in the end, you need the energy and you need to feel good to perform good. And
feel good, perform good.
And from the first second, I felt really like overloaded with energy and ready to go again. That was really my thought, yeah.
And the Erling we talk to now, the Erling we see is this humble Erling, and yet when you're not here, when we're asking managers about you, the words and the names that keep coming up in the same conversation are always the likes of Messi and Ronaldo, the very best players in the world. Do you see yourself at the level of those players?
Notice no smile, right? When they talked about the record, Alan Shearer, and that, there was a smile on his face. There was like that, yeah, this kind of, that brings me joy as I think of myself in that. Now when they bring up Messi and obviously Ronaldo, notice the seriousness.
No, not at all. Far off. No one can get close to them too, so no.
Yo,
Erling, you've played.
That's a good answer. Maybe some of you might be a little cynical and being like, he's media trained, he knows what to say, what not to say. I think he's being very genuine here. Yes, again, to be mentioned amongst them, look at him, like got a little red in the face, a little embarrassed. He is going to be mentioned with those greats, but obviously he knows he's got many more years to have, needing to be at a level for it to actually be something to truly consider, because Messi and CR7 were not normal. For what they did, if they were like one-off seasons, a couple seasons, that's okay. We get it. But for how consistent they were, not normal. And I think Haaland recognized that.
On some big competitions, obviously Premier League, Champions League, Bundesliga. But in terms of the national team, you get to play in a major tournament. What would it mean for you to end this season, go into that World Cup and playing for Norway over there?
Yeah, in a few weeks, there's a big few games both in Norway and Italy. For us as a whole nation.
I'm not going to lie. This next international break, I'm going to be stressing. Because I want these guys coming back healthy. I know that's selfish of me with regards to what they want to do for their country, right? National pride. But yeah, this international break, I want these guys coming back healthy. I think we have a chance to go on a really good run. But let's hear what he has to say about his ambitions for his country.
Nation, which is going to be interesting games, and I think really good games. And yeah, last World Cup was in 1998, 2 years before I was born. So I've been saying this for a long time. My goal is to take Norway to World Cup and Euros. This is my main goal in my career, and now
his main goal in his career is to take his country. That's the mentality right there. That's the mentality right there. And it's difficult. They're not a football power. They're not. But to have that as a goal, that says a lot.
I have a good chance to do it. So it's about taking the chances.
And when Norway haven't qualified, have you been watching these tournaments? Do you watch tournaments in the summer when you're not playing, or do you just kind of switch off?
You mean, sorry, one more time, sorry?
So, like, if do you watch the Euros and World Cups, at home during the summer?
Yeah, I watch. I'm a football fan, so I've been watching as long as I can remember. I think the first one I remember most was South Africa. So 2010, I was 10 years old. So yeah, I'm a football fan, and I live for football.
Hi, Erling. When you think back to the player and the person you were as a young player at Dortmund compared to the person you are now, do you feel that you've changed off the pitch? Because obviously Pep in the summer decided that he wanted you as part of his leadership group, which I imagine is quite a big honour when a manager like that picks you.
Yeah, I'm the completely same person as I was when I was, as long as I can remember. Nothing has changed. I'm still the same kid in some situations, and
you know what?
Yeah, I'm still
the fact that Pep made a point, and I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a string of interviews where Pep reflected on last season, and he reflected on last season on which players kept their energy up, which players had the attitude to, like, we're gonna get ourselves out of this and we're gonna kick on. It's like, this isn't a disaster. We're not giving up on the season. He made note on a few players. Bernardo Silva was one of them. We know Bernardo Silva is a dog. He's a pit bull. He's a Rottweiler. He's a dog. He doesn't give up, right? And he's just got that type of leadership, and obviously got captain armband. I think, and we know Pep also did the same thing with regards to who he was going to identify and who he was going to bring to the mix. Shout out to those that have just joined the channel. Thank you so very much. Comment, be a part of the show. I'll bring you to the screen just like I did with my girl DC in the building. She goes, what it do, Sky Blues? Good looking out, everybody. Send DC some love to let her know what's up. And hit that like button. But the fact that Pep was like, Haaland, yeah, you can, I need you in the mix. I need you to be a part, take more part in the leadership was huge.
A kid from Bryne, but with much more experience in life.
More mature, perhaps, grown up a little bit?
More experience, of course. I've been playing since I was on professional level, since I was 16. So with much more experience in football ways and also in.
You know what? This is what I want to bring up too, because when we talked about earlier in the show, we talked about lazy narratives, right? Just lazy narratives. Just because a player has been playing at a professional level or playing first team or been in the spotlight for a long time, that doesn't accelerate maturity, whether it's mentally or physically, right? Just because you've been doing something by a certain age doesn't then mean, okay, well, you've been doing it for 4 years. So him at 16 has been doing it for 4 years. You're not going to say at 20, okay, you're going to have everything of a veteran or someone who played the game for 4 years. It's very different than a 20-year-old that's been playing and being at the level for 4 years, right? There's a certain level of maturity mentally and physically. Haaland, he's being humble here again, saying that he's the same guy. He's no different than the kid. But again, experience-wise has changed, obviously, with who he surrounded himself with regards to support. If you haven't, I mean, he's got an entertaining YouTube channel. You see behind the scenes, obviously him away from football. He's making steaks, drinking raw milk, and I guess all those things that make him him. But he is more than just the same simple kid that he was. There's a lot of experience that he's acquired.
Life, I've been living alone now for 9 years, which also helped me a lot as a person as well. I've been living in loads of different countries, speaking different languages, so it's the same Erling, but with more experience.
Hi, Erling. How does it feel coming up against Borussia Dortmund, your old club? Have you still got a lot of friends there, or have most of them moved on now?
Yeah, I still have a few friends, a lot in the staff still, people I still speak with. And it's really special, you know. I had an amazing time in Dortmund. It's an amazing club, you know, with amazing people. So I've just got good things to say about Dortmund. And
Dortmund is a very good club. Obviously, their model is kind of like in cycles. They don't have the ability to kind of like retain their talent in this modern football. Obviously, Bayern have that monopoly with regards to that league. And you think of the quality, you think of the talent that's come out of Dortmund, and that's gone all over world football. It's pretty phenomenal. And Haaland being one of them, even more recently, I think first Haaland, then Jude, right? There's quality, and even before that, we were lucky enough to get players out of there, and we know the quality.
Of course, it's a special match. You know, when I think back of all my memories, there's so many good memories with them 2.5 years I played there, and yeah, it's a special game.
You've always talked about how much you love this competition. Does that still burn as brightly as ever, even though you've won it and scored so many goals?
Yeah, definitely it does. And yeah, I still love the competition, even though I won and scored goals in it.
That was a silly question from the journalist. Just because you've won something or you've had success, why would he think that that's dimmed? Why would he think that's lessened? This show's all about mentality, winning mentality. He's not gonna do it once and be like, okay, that's enough for me.
We saw Ryan Shirky provide 2 assists for you on Sunday. What's he like as a teammate, and are there signs of a footballing relationship starting to grow on the pitch between yourselves?
Yeah, he's a good guy with some amazing qualities, as we can all see. And it's about, in the end, it's about playing football, which we can get the best out of everyone on the pitch. And it's the same with him. We need to help him in his free mind as a number 10 to help pass the ball to me, to help pass the ball to the attacking players, because he has this kind of special ability which is difficult to explain, you know.
He has this, right? Special ability. You can't explain it. Let's see what he says.
A little bit like Kevin had, you know. He can just.
Now that's big praise. That's big praise. Haaland, I'm just gonna say you said a little bit like Kevin, so I'm not gonna go crazy with it. But that is big praise, because we know what KDB is. And shout out to KDB. Hopefully he's got a speedy recovery. Terrible to see what he suffered over at Napoli, but hopefully he comes back. I'm gonna bring this up. I know it's slightly off topic, but let me bring this up for the chat. Dre P goes slightly off topic, but that's a real point, Vader. Bayern has a ridiculous monopoly on their league. That's what they feared would have happened with City had gotten taken over. Yep, it hasn't happened. Real fear mongering. Absolutely. Like, it's not going to happen in the Prem. We know that the cartels would. If it were to happen, it'd be something to favor the Red Cartel. It was never going to be a monopoly of a Chelsea or City. We know that they were going to make sure that was going to happen. And even with the takeover that happened over at Newcastle, they are not going to let that happen. But no, the monopoly over at the Bundesliga, it's unfortunate, because I think the league would be that much more entertaining if it wasn't so lopsided, but it is what it is. Cisco goes, I see that sly smile. He knows Shirky is going to put balls on a platter nonstop. Listen, he's got that, I can't say, a little KDB like. Crazy.
Pass someone through from wherever on the pitch, and he's a special talent, and we need to help him develop even more.
And sorry, shamelessly, I got to say. So I did a show yesterday, and I talked about how Pep MasterChef is cooking. Pep's cooking, right? He had Shirky, he had Foden, he had Doku playing in that middle. And we're seeing so much more quality consistently from Gonzalez, right? So Pep MasterChef's cooking something up. We had Nunez going, holding the wing high up the pitch, right? We had O'Reilly that was able to advance. He got that third goal. But the interchanging between Shirky, Foden, and Doku, or if he's going to have, maybe he's going to have a combination of Marmoush as well. But for them to be able to change places, I think Marmoush of all of those players is probably most isolated, more so centrally and to the left. But players don't know. Defenders don't know who's attacking how, right? And if they're all going to be looking up to get it to this guy, I think we can be really dangerous in attack, like more so than we've seen before. Because I'll be honest with you, we were a little too dependent on KDB at parts with regards to who had the green light to like release those passes. But we knew Rodri, Gundogan had the ability to get those passes over, and with regards, and even Bernardo to a certain degree. But now, if we got Foden, we got Shirky, we got Gonzalez, we got Rodri coming back, even we got Doku who's going to be looking up. This guy's going to be eaten. This guy's going to be eaten.
More because he can be really good.
Erling, in the last year, does fatherhood change your life much, and does it change your focus as a player at all?
If it changed my life, yeah, definitely, without a doubt. Suddenly, there's someone waking you up every morning.
Oh, that is so real.
Before it was different, and yeah, I think it got me even more focused because I can kind of switch off even more, which is
balances. Listen, for those of you that have the joy of having a son or daughter, those of you that will have them in the future, you'll realize, listen, it's a pleasant reset, right? You can get so caught up in what you want, like what's got you busy, what's got you stressed, and even with your ambition, whether it's whatever it is in your life, in your career, him as a footballer. Sometimes you need to turn the mind off. And sometimes turning the mind off is having a more important focus, right? So having minions in my life in particular, it's like, I know why everything's being done. I know what my kind of purpose is. My purpose is to try to make my two minions the best possible people they can be. And that's great. That can be a great distraction to turn the mind off with other things that may be stressing you.
In the end, you need a balance between focusing and doing the completely opposite, not focusing at all. So yeah, it helped me focus even more, yeah.
Can I ask about last season as well? Is there a lot of drive amongst this squad to kind of put right what happened last season? How much did that hurt you as a squad?
Yeah, of course, it's not nice to...
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on.
Oh, here we go. Okay, I gotta do that. Do that. Nice. We back.
Games and to lose the cup final, come third in Premier League, and to go out early in the Champions League is not ideal for this club. And we all know that we need to do better. We all know that we need to be more stable. We need to perform better when it matters. And yeah, we are motivated. We are ready for what's next. And in the end, you need to take game by game and to...
Let me. Okay, I'm going to be venting for a little bit. Okay, I'm going to be venting for a little bit. And thank you each and every one of you for remaining and being in the show, being part of the comments. But the players, the club, the staff, the manager, all know that they fell short last season. All know that losing that FA. All know that falling out of Champions League, not making it to the knockout stages, even how we finished third in that type of pursuit. They all know. When the fan base want to be like, this disaster season, this club's not going to learn. This club's now going to go down the route of it's going to be 10, it's going to be a decade, it's going to be 2 decades before winning comes back to the club. Like, that's, and I get it. 1 year can be 2, 2 years can be 3, but can we relax? Relax. These players are motivated. He just spoke about it. He just spoke about how alert, said it early in the press conference about how ready he was when the season kicked off. He had this raised energy, this want to improve. The club has this. Let's I had to bring this, I had to vent a little bit because the meltdowns, the projection that we're going to continue to be bad is just horrible. Even the slander, and I call it slander with regards to Pep not being able to adapt and improve, was another thing. But look, these players want to get better. They don't want a season like last.
As I just said, now my focus is on Borussia Dortmund tomorrow.
Hi, Erling. Something very impressive about you this season is you've been...
Yo, shout out to my guy, Aaron. If you can't catch the voice, my dude, Aaron, man, shout out to him. Being able to pose this question, being in the mix, well-deserved, continued success, my guy.
Very rarely offside. Your movement's been quite impeccable and has helped you to score the goals that you've scored, for example, on the weekend against Bournemouth. Is that something that you've worked on actively, or have you always had that instinct as a striker to make sure your movement is that impeccable to be able to score this many goals?
Yeah, it's not the first season that I'm barely in offside. I think it started from when I started with offside when I was 13 years old.
Listen, great question. And you know what I love about this? You know what I love about this? It then feeds back into the machine part. It feeds back into the machine part. Like his abilities to be so proficient. And when I say proficient, efficient, yes, doesn't need many touches to score goals. But when you think about the opportunities that he gets and he's not wasteful with them, it says a lot too, right? He's not wasting these opportunities by already being in an offside position. Listen, Liverpool fans, you don't have to defend this guy anymore. And you barely defended him when he was there. But Nunez is like the complete opposite, right? Look at how many goal-scoring opportunities were negated, were ruled out, weren't possible because he started from an offside position. Like Haaland is just that phenomenal. Just that phenomenal.
On trying to be onside, it's not the first season I'm never in offside. I think from when I came to City, I've been in offside 18 times. So 18 times in 3.5 years is okay, I think. So yeah, it's a thing that is quite in my game. I hate to be in offside. You need to. I mean, if you are in offside now with VAR, it's no chance, you know. And I think even VAR helped me even more because you get the decision, and simple as that. And when you barely go offside, there's a good chance that if there's an offside situation, most likely I will not be in offside. So yeah, there's something I've been working on since I was 13 years old in Bryne, and I'm still playing the same kind of way when I was 13 that I do now. Just now I'm
being humble. He's not
quicker, better, faster, and
from
play for City instead of Bryne.
Yeah.
Any questions in German? No? All good. Thanks, everyone.
Listen. He spoke about how he's still the same player, but he's being modest because he's improved. Him not being offside, obviously he's emphasizing that he's always been that type of player, to be aware, to be wary of where the offside line is and not to be in offside position, not waste an opportunity. But I really like this press conference, and let me know in the comments, let me know by the likes, let me know if you happen to watch this later whether you like these type of breakdowns. I'm fascinated by what people actually say. Some of the clipped up quotes, you know, just abbreviated, posted, doesn't give the true sense. And also to be able to see, right? You see a smile, you maybe see an irritation, you maybe see a little discomfort with some of these answers. I think it speaks a lot, but I really wanted to do this breakdown. I think his mentality is phenomenal. I think Pep, I think the club go out and get players that have team thinking, right? Have the mentality for what's best for the team. And again, for players that have chosen, for players that have chosen, for whatever reason, have chosen not to come to City, if it is a reason outside of football, I get it. But if, and this is why Dre P and everybody in the chat, this is why I can't wait for this 115 to go away, because I think when that goes away, we're going on another run, because then we don't have the reluctancy from maybe some players, some agents, right? Maybe some parents of these kids, and say, you know what, maybe steer clear of this club. But when you think of the atmosphere, when you think of how a player like him is treated, right? I think that's just easy advertising, an easy invite for others to come. Now, I don't know what the pitch was. I don't know what the Arne Slot pitch was for Wirtz, right? Whatever it was, Wirtz said he wanted Liverpool. I don't know what they said to Isak. Isak said he wanted Liverpool. He didn't want anywhere else. When it comes down to those that have made a choice not to come to City and have made the choice to go elsewhere, it's going to be interesting at the end of the day to see whether, and again, these players play for trophies, these players play for contracts as well, I get all that. But for the players that said, nah, I don't want to go to City, I'm going to go elsewhere, we'll see where the tally is. We'll see what it means with regards to their football accomplishments. Because I don't think there's a better manager out there. I don't think there's a better manager out there that's going to get the best, that's going to maximize a player's ability. I think Pep is the one that's like, okay, you want to be the best striker ever? I'm going to show you how to do it. You want to be the best midfield out there? And the first thing he told KDB, he said, KDB, you can be the best in the world. And KDB, at that time, he wasn't thinking that way. He heard it from Pep, and he admits it changes things up, changes how he thought about football. But if you want to be the best player, I don't know how you go anywhere else. Now, I see in the comments, money, maybe the pressure of having to be that professional, the pressure of having to be that good each and every time. That's not something that some players want. Some players may want lower expectations, maybe don't want the spotlight like that, because we know that Pep demands your best every game, right? Some of this Pep roulette that they want to say, Pep dropping players, is sometimes because of the effort that's shown, the quality that he knows of the player to be, and not showing it. So I think it's absolutely phenomenal. Trevor in the building, Cisco, Sam, Dre P, all of you guys in the chat, DC, Abdallah earlier, my ops with regards to RSM, Staffy, everyone, good looking out. Thank you for being a part of the show. I'm gonna do breakdowns like this, maybe not as long. This is my first one. I was really fascinated with what Haaland had to say. I hope you all enjoyed it. And moving forward, my next show is gonna be Why Always Me. So check me out tomorrow. I'll do look out for the thumbnail. I'm gonna do Why Always Me. I'm gonna have some topics on the side. I'm gonna be addressing obviously the UCL game and its result, and I'm gonna do a mini preview with regards to the Liverpool game. I'm gonna have to talk about that. Trevor goes, it's a lot of pressure playing for City, high demands. You're absolutely right. Thanks for having. I appreciate that, man. Cisco, much appreciated. Much appreciate that. When you normally stream, I'm gonna do my best. I want to keep this time frame. I want to be between 4 p.m. UK time, which is 11 my time in Toronto, and maybe the latest I might start. My latest I'll probably start is 1 p.m. my time, which is 6 p.m. UK time. I'm going to try to be within that window. That's going to be I think my best window of opportunity to be consistent with the content that I'm doing out there. But the next show that I'm going to do is Why Always Me. This is the last show I did, so these topics are going to change out. Vader games. But the last show I did, I addressed these topics here. I'm going to have completely new topics. UCL, I'm going to have to talk about Liverpool preview, and you know what, I might sprinkle in anything that I observe from some of the rivals as well. Oh, bless, good looking out, my guy. No, don't worry about that. Don't worry. I was just saying that for some, because some viewers happen to be in the UK. But yeah, it is going to be most likely 11 a.m. the earliest Toronto time. I'm based out here in Toronto.
Vader games.
But I hope you enjoyed this show. I hope you enjoyed the flow. I'm gonna talk City. I'm gonna talk rivals, especially on my CIA show. Expect that on Sunday. So my next show tomorrow, my last show of the week will be on Sunday with CIA panel show, other City fans, and we're gonna get into it. I'm Vader Games. This is Vader Games TV. The latest episode of 115, one question, 50 minutes, different format. We did a breakdown of Haaland's pre UCL game conference, and listen, the mentality that he has is winning mentality on and off the pitch. And don't let anyone tell you that good guys finish last. Good guys win. All right, bless up, enjoy this outro, and again, share this to like-minded people like yourselves. Bless.